get some snacks and water for you guys, so you can grab and make yourself comfortable. Dosth AI is my son and partner, Karthik. There is his brain. So he's going to walk you all through his journey of his idea of coming up with this app, as well as what made him motivated to have this app in his life and things like that. So welcome, Karthik.
Hello, my name is Karthik Thursday. I'm a senior at David Travis High School and the founder of Dosth AI. Before I get started, I want to do a little call and response with the crowd, just to share a bit. Has anybody ever moved to a new school in their life? Okay. How did you feel the minute before you walked into those doors?
Like till middle school, I was in the same school, and then high school was different. Yeah, it was a big thing to cope up with.
Like anxiousness, anxiety. So, in essence, that is what we're trying to solve here at Dosth AI, and just within the community, within the autism community. So, before I get into the meat and potatoes, I want to give you a little appetizer with how did I come up with this, and just a little bit more background about myself. So my journey started in my freshman year, or the summer before my freshman year, and I got an email from my swim coach. I had just made the varsity swim team, and it was the first email she sent out to the team, and as someone who was going to be a freshman, I wanted to build some rapport with my coach. So I opened the email, I checked the header, and it said, Lake Travis Special Olympics help needed. And I scrolled through, and I was like, okay, I want to show myself off. I want to start off on a great foot with my coach. So I signed up, filled out all the forms, and I entered the practice facility for the first time. And immediately, it was nothing like I was expecting. It was filled with so much love, so much passion, and most importantly, I saw so much potential in every athlete that was there. So I continued. I went week by week, and I felt more and more in love with this program. And I continued, and I'm still continuing for the next 2 weeks. And I expanded from being just summer swim coach to going year-round. I started doing track and field and soccer. And I felt great appreciation towards the program, and I felt there was great impact going on here. But I wanted to create and develop something outside of the pool, the field, the track. So in June of 2023, I created my first iteration of Dosth AI. Funny enough, my first iteration did not have any AI in it. It was essentially like a slideshow on your phone that taught the 4 basic swim strokes: freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, and butterfly. And while there was something there was always something I could improve on. So that following year, I did extensive research into the field. I worked with therapists in the area, and I came across this ABA therapy, or applied behavioral analysis therapy method of social stories, which is essentially like a narrative storytelling method of teaching a child how to do a certain activity. I'll get a little bit more into this as I progress. But I began doing this research, and I picked up the topic of incorporating AI, which is just this multifaceted tool that can help guide my app, into my research, and that's where I started making a lot of leaps and bounds in terms of my app development. And in July 2024, with the help of some people around the internet who I emailed, and just a huge collaborative effort of tons of people who were super passionate about this project like I was, Dosth AI platform was born. And really, that's where I started making a lot of leaps and bounds in terms of my app development. And in July 2024, with the help of some people around the internet who I emailed, and just a huge collaborative effort of just tons of people who were super passionate about this project like I was. So what do we aim to solve? What is our true problem statement? This I'm gonna get a little bit more narrative here, but when I first came in and I saw these kids also coming for the first time, they would first look at the pool and they were filled with that same sense of anxiousness and anxiety. And they would be afraid, they would run away from the pool, and they just didn't really want to be there. But as the weeks went on, weeks, months, however much time, I saw them slowly get more acclimated. They started enjoying the pool as much as I did. So my goal was to speed up that process. How can I get them to feel that feeling instead of it being 2 or 3 months in advance? How can I just get it in a couple of days, maybe a week? So I looked through, and I found social stories, which was perfect. It essentially gave an exact route of how to prime, which is kind of like getting ready for this certain activity. And I found social stories, but the way that it's being incorporated, I felt was just so rudimentary. This is just a little example here, just a picture of those couple of papers right there. On Amazon, that costs about $15 for that pack of 6 social stories. I get through like 20 social stories with my dad by the time I leave the door. It's just so expensive, and when you, in a actual therapist's office or a professional space, sometimes therapists would have to laminate, even cut out, or in some extreme situations, draw their certain social stories by hand. And all this time, effort, and money, it can be used for something better. So that is what we aim to solve. So I looked through, okay, what are applications where I can take this to a more mobile space? How can I have it, instead of just being in a therapist's office or being in some physical room, how can we expand the use of these social stories? So I looked into mobile development, as apps are becoming increasingly prevalent in today's day and age. And I looked through and I did a lot of research into it, and there are about 25 actual apps that are specifically designed for children with autism. So this app is truly, and that's not even with social stories, that's just apps in general. So with our current app, it truly is a first-to-market design. So how do we solve these problems? How do we get it out? And how do we really accomplish what we're trying to do? And the main solution and the driver of Dosth AI is AI, artificial intelligence. Dosth AI, with just a simple prompt, can be a sentence or two long. You can have a full social story with vivid colors, a great, brilliant script, and an audio feature that really cuts down that time, that hours and hours of time that it would take to develop a story to just 5 minutes. Furthermore, we've designed it with every safeguard in mind. We have obviously the integrated security with ChatGPT, but furthermore, we have people reviewing every story that comes in, and it really is a community effort in that regard. So our target users right now are therapists, people who can use it in their professional space. And one team that I did not really realize that this would be affecting, but after talking with early adopters of people who have presented this to already, are these people called speech and language pathologists, who essentially work on speech delays, speech clarity, and overall social communication. And after talking with these people, they were saying, wow, this app will be such a boon to us in terms of accentuating our specific research. So that is also people who are trying to push this out to. And lastly, our parents. They are the first-hand people who see how their child interacts and how these people behave. So those are also key people who we aim to give this app and just give them a chance to really push their kid in the right direction. So key features, and this will be a little bit more like illustrated in our video, but you'll be able to make an activity or a story. An activity is more like a step-by-step process, while a story is given in a story format. Whichever one your child prefers, we allow that flexibility. Third is you can customize your narrative. There is an edit feature on every slide and on every page of your story that gives you the opportunity to really make it your own. And lastly, and what I feel is very important, is involvement with the community. Every story, you can either choose to make it private or public. Making it public allows you to share it with everybody else who has the app. And as this is based on a community effort, this will allow everybody to be able to share their stories and really have it as everybody's connected within this beautiful, beautiful community. This is how the app looks when you first log in and you first sign in. We're working currently on a star system, but each story is categorized into a specific topic. So we have cultural, educational, emotional understanding, animal stories, fairy tales, and folk tales, and so on and so forth. So here's just a little example.
Rima, a 13-year-old Indian girl with long braided hair, eagerly wakes up on Dussehra morning, feeling the excitement in the air. Rima helps her mother decorate their house with marigold flowers and rangoli patterns to welcome the festival of Dussehra. Rima selects a beautiful traditional lehenga choli of beautiful colors to wear for the Dandiya Ras in the evening. With her outfit chosen, Rima sits down with her mother to help her with traditional Indian jewelry and makeup. As the sun sets, Rima arrives at the community center decorated with lights and colorful fabrics, feeling the lively atmosphere of the Dussehra celebration. The Dandiya Ras begins, and Rima joins her friends in the dance circle, holding the decorated Dandiya sticks. Rima immerses herself in the rhythm of the music and the beats of the Dandiya sticks, sharing smiles and
So are these already preloaded, or is it something we can create like I put according to the email, or create
So
one?
currently these are the preloaded ones, but now I'll show you how to create your own. Does anybody have like a prompt in mind that they want?
Going swimming?
Going swimming. Alright. So here we have, once upon a time, there was a 12-year-old boy named Ben who decided to learn freestyle swimming for the first time. Ben's coach, Mr. Ramirez, a friendly and patient instructor, welcomed him to the pool with a warm smile. So here we have Mr. Ramirez guiding Ben through the basic moves of freestyle, showing him how to move his arms properly. So she has her arms out in a, that is kind of how it is when you are doing freestyle. Have your arms out. So that is what I like.
Can you also talk about any privacy or security considerations, especially?
Yeah, so the only thing that we really do is we have a login system which just asks for your Google email. But in terms of security and being ethical, we don't really take any other data. We have your stories all stored for you using Firebase authentication, which is very secure and is greatly integrated with the app development tech stack that I use called Flutter. So that is security is protected. And in terms of community, if you're scared, okay, this is something I'm going to make a story that is going to be harmful, or maybe show something that shouldn't be there. Like I said, ChatGPT and DALL-E 3, which is creating an image, they have inherent protections to make sure that there's no blood or violence being generated, as well as if something does get through that, when you make something public, so where the entire community can see it, me and we have a team that reviews every story that goes into the community before it gets sent out and shown publicly.
Okay, so once I say, if I create a story, I can publish it to the community as well, and that goes through you.
Yeah, it has to go through me before it gets out to the In terms of when you're creating the story, the main precaution that we have is ChatGPT security. Whatever you create through OpenAI, if it gets through them and you create it, say I'm creating the story right now here, and it shows something that I don't like, and it gets through that security, that there's not much that we can bypass. But in terms of showing it to the community, like you can't create something bad and violent and then show it off to the community. But that's why we have this edit feature. If it shows something that you would be considered, harmful, you can regenerate it and then it should.
So the way I understand it, if I'm following this, if I went on and I created how to swim butterfly now, and then it's in a library. So everybody who creates something is within one of those categories. And it's this library that's going to go on for.
You can choose what category.
Right, or I could go and then pick somebody else's learning tool module that I can you actually share it from the database? Like if I wanted to share it to a swimming community or something, or do I drive them to this app and a link on the app?
The main what we are right now doing is basically to go to providing multiple options for the people to share to the friends through the WhatsApp or messaging or in the social media apps. So we are right now doing those kind of integrations as well, so that they can share it freely with friends.
And if a community shared project, can you edit that also, the story to your taste?
Sorry?
If someone has posted their story in the community, can you download it and then again edit it to your liking?
Once you click save, you can't really go back and edit it. Once it's published, you can't really go back and edit it. And you can't download someone's and then edit it yourself.
Okay.
AI is the story there. And the security is on the AI side. So is there a way where they can age restricted at that time? By default, okay, age restricted to 30, unless I specify that, okay, I just want to be able to.
That's something we're kind of working on.
Okay. You can do it.
Yeah.
So the example you illustrated, that is swimming.
Yeah.
The reality, we just put in the title, that is freestyle swimming.
Yes.
And then the air generated everything else.
Yes.
Like 10 frames or 15 frames. Yes. So is there a way to specify what features of the swimming, what aspects of swimming you should
The more specific you want to get in your prompt when you're originally putting it in, the more specific the AI will generate your specific. So how we put it, we just said we want to have a kid who's learning freestyle. And we give it,
specify those.
yeah, you can specify swimming freestyle onward specifically on the kick, or onward specifically on making sure they're breathing to their side.
Yeah.
And those are things that you can get specified in the prompt itself, so that the AI can build and really focus on that section. So great questions. Anybody else have any questions?
Who do you think will be your first demographic that you'll really market this to?
So I talked about the three demographics: therapists, speech and pathology experts, and parents. And right now, I've been in talks with a lot of people in the medical field, therapists and speech and pathology experts, who said, "Yeah, this is something that we can use and we can incorporate." And of course, parents. So those three groups are who we're really marketing to start with.
Will it be subscription based?
So right now we're working on more freemium type features. So we have, when you initially download the app is free of course, and you'll have a ton of free stories that you can have yourself. And then eventually you can, when you're creating new ones, since it costs X amount of money to develop each story, it will have some sort of feature where it will cost this amount of money, this amount of tokens that we can get. If in a perfect world, if I had unlimited money, I would give it off for free and everybody can create unlimited stories as much as they want. But, you know, it drains my bank account, so I need some sort of monetary value so I can keep this running. And in the future, I'm hoping to develop more.
Have you thought about that, letting advertisers outside the advertisers?
I haven't really thought about having like advertisers on here. Mainly because, you know, this is for a specific group. This is not really for, I mean, everybody can use it, but the targeted, I mean, the people who are truly built it for is a group where I don't really want to have it in such an advertising space. So that's why I'd rather have it with a subscription model. Enjoy the refreshments, we have bagels, and if you haven't downloaded the app yet, the QR code is right here, and you can scan it and appreciate all of them. And yeah.
So, Karthik has been volunteering with us for 4 years now, and he is one of the most dedicated volunteers for the Special Olympics. And we didn't even know that he was working on this. He would just quietly show up, and the kids love him. They love working with him. And big effect on us. But we're lucky to have him here.
Yeah,
So.
thank you.
A lot of our kids with the Special Olympics a lot of them are nonverbal, and so they're on their phones a lot. They wear headphones in their social situations. They don't know what's next, so I think this app can really teach them what am I going to experience when I go swim, for example, or go trick-or-treating or whatever it is. So.
During the presentation, I was texting a friend of mine here in Austin who is a therapist on helping some of our swimmers and special needs kids in Austin how to eat and use utensils. And I was just telling him, this is going to be brilliant for her, where she can prepare them ahead of time and have that little lesson that they can watch over and over again. I mean, I already was texting her when I was watching the presentation because I had this, oh my gosh, I mean, she would love this. Yeah. There was so many. I mean, I was, as you know with my questions, my head was.
Okay, but I just want to say thank you for a fantastic job software technology for other companies. So we are welcome to work with us in the AI space. So thank you so much.
But a telehealth app that incorporates AI into the behavioral therapy method of social stories for children with autism.
My career has been in the learning management systems, LMSs, and I'm watching this. You know, some of these LMSs have authoring tools, and I see this as being part of LMSs where people can use it as an authoring tool. They can create their own stories, and I mean, my head was going because this is like something that has been my corporate work. So, I mean, this is brilliant. It's just brilliant. Yeah.
It's great. You guys are encouraged, so thank you for inspiring us, helping us. So